Coming up on Chapman News, American cruise ship passengers in quarantine after a hantavirus outbreak. Is there a public health threat? We'll tell you what experts are saying.
I'm Simone Jackson with a preview of the sentencing for a man who ambushed and killed two young Chapman University alumni. I'll have that live report coming up on Chapman News.
And with near record high prices at the pump, President Trump wants to suspend the federal gas tax. But will Congress go along? That story plus your weather and sports coming up on Chapman News.
From Orange, California, live from Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Natalie Lau.
And I'm Nico Schweigler. We begin today with the latest on the hantavirus outbreak on a passenger cruise ship. Experts are stressing that the outbreak is not a public health threat. 17 American passengers on the Dutch flag cruise ship have arrived in Omaha, Nebraska, and will be quarantined to monitor their symptoms. 2 others are in Atlanta. 3 people have died after contracting the rare Andes strain of hantavirus, which can be transmitted among humans. A Health and Human Services official says the risk of the virus spreading to the public is low.
The Andes variant of this virus does not spread easily, and it requires prolonged close contact with someone who is already symptomatic.
Health authorities say the virus is not like COVID-19, and people shouldn't worry that this will lead to another pandemic.
President Trump says he wants to temporarily suspend the federal gas tax as Americans continue to feel the impact of near record high gas prices linked to the war with Iran. The federal gas tax currently adds more than 18 cents per gallon to gas prices, but President Trump says he wants to temporarily pause it to help drivers deal with surging costs at the pump. The national average for gas now sits around $4.50 a gallon, a sharp increase since the start of the Iran war. Trump's proposal would still need approval from Congress as lawmakers on both sides debate whether the move would actually provide relief or create future funding issues.
How long are you going to suspend that tax for?
Till it's appropriate, yeah.
Some Republicans and Democrats have already expressed support for a temporary suspension, while others warn it could have a multi-billion-dollar gap in federal transportation funding.
Speaking before members of Congress today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth dodged questions about the status of the ceasefire with Iran. President Trump says the month-long ceasefire is on life support, and today Hegseth says the United States, quote, has a plan to escalate if necessary. His comments come just one day after Trump publicly called Iran's proposal to end the war, quote, garbage.
We have a plan for all of that. We have a plan to escalate if necessary. We have a plan to retrograde if necessary. We have a plan to shift assets.
Appearing at a congressional hearing on the Pentagon's budget request, Hegseth says the U.S. military has several options in the Middle East, but refused to describe the next steps the administration will take.
The man who admitted to stabbing 2 young Chapman University alumni to death in 2022 will be sentenced tomorrow after a jury found he was legally sane at the time of the killings.
Chapman News reporter Simone Jackson is live outside the Orange County Courthouse with the latest. Simone?
Thanks, Nico and Natalie. 30-year-old Raim Fahim will learn his fate in a courtroom here tomorrow. A jury recently found that Fahim was deemed sane at the time he killed Jonathan Baum and Griffin Kumo, both 23 years old and recent graduates from Chapman in their Anaheim apartment building. The jury's decision comes after a lengthy legal battle centered around Fahim's mental state at the time of the attack. His lawyers argued Fahim, who had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, was not legally sane at the time of the attacks, but jurors rejected that claim.
Fahim himself actually told his mother before he committed the murders that if he got caught, he would simply blame the murders on schizophrenia. His insanity defense was pretextual. Obviously, that was very unsettling and infuriating to the family. So the fact that the jury got this right, found him legally insane, and that he will be punished for what he did is comforting to the family.
Investigators say Fahim gained unauthorized access on April 19, 2022, into the Anaheim apartment complex before making his way to the 5th floor, where prosecutors say the 2 men were killed inside their home. Legal experts say insanity defenses can be difficult to prove in court. Jurors must determine whether a defendant understood what they were doing at the time of the crime.
These cases are actually quite rare. You don't often see defendants raising an insanity defense. They see it as a get out of jail free card. And unless there is really strong evidence that the person had no control over their actions, had no understanding of what they were doing, juries are very reluctant to find somebody insane.
Fahim is looking to face 2 consecutive life sentences in prison without the possibility of parole. I'm Simone Jackson reporting live for Chapman News. Back to you guys in the studio.
The mayor of Arcadia is expected to plead guilty in a federal case that is tied to Chinese propaganda efforts in the U.S. The Justice Department says Arcadia Mayor Eileen Wang, who resigned yesterday, has agreed to plead guilty to a federal charge of acting as an illegal foreign agent for China. Investigators say Wang helped spread Chinese government propaganda through a website aimed at Chinese American communities. She faces up to 10 years in federal prison.
The federal government is revoking passports of parents who owe large amounts of money in child support. The Associated Press reports about 2,700 Americans owe over $100,000 in child support, and those are the parents who will be targeted first. The new crackdown could keep some parents from seeing their kids.
If a child support obligor who's living in the States is paying child support or has child support orders for a child who lives in another country, they may not be able to travel to see that child unless they pay their child support order.
The government plans to expand its enforcement and will keep cracking down with these mechanisms, eventually revoking passports from those who owe $2,500 or more in child support.
Several student programs at Cal State Fullerton are facing budget cuts. Funding collected from student fees typically totals about $2.5 million and is shared among roughly 90 student organizations. Funding increased temporarily to nearly $6 million because of a post-pandemic windfall, but it's back down now, and college officials say there just isn't enough to go around. Programs that could be impacted including the Daily Titan newspaper, the debate team, and the Department of Theater and Dance. Demiana Gabriel, current news editor for the Daily Titan, says the staff has been told they will receive only 60% of the request.
What people's concerns were is that it's not an equitable process of funding at all for all of the programs that are involved.
Last month, hundreds of students and faculty members attended an academic senate meeting to protest the funding decisions. The changes will take effect for the 2026-2027 school year beginning this August.
Meanwhile, with final exams underway here at Chapman, a little sunshine might be exactly what we need, Natalie.
I think so too. It may be foggy outside today, but I'm hoping better weather could be on the way just in time for the weekend. Jenna McLaughlin joins us with more. Jenna?
Thank you, Nico and Natalie. Yes, hi everyone. So today is just a foggier spring day. Here's the view from the Orange Plaza. Yeah, just a cloudier day today, but that is okay because it's perfect for a warm coffee and a light jacket. But let's take a look at our local forecast. So right now we've got patchy fog and Gen Alphas would kill me if I didn't do this. It's 7 degrees out, and there's also a 1% chance of rain. But let's look ahead to this week with our 5-day Fenestra forecast. We'll start off with some cloud cover, but conditions should gradually clear out as we head closer to the weekend. Temperatures stay pretty consistent, mostly in the low to mid 70s with highs around 73 to 76 degrees. Overnight lows stay cool in the upper 50s. Rain is basically not a concern with only a 1% chance today and 0% the rest of the week. Winds stay light at about 10 miles per hour. And for the weekend, I hope Chapman students aren't too cooped up studying for finals because the weather is looking great, with Saturday being mostly sunny with a high of 76 and a low of 57. No rain in the forecast. Sunday actually looks just as nice, even a degree warmer with a high of 77 and a low of 58. Again, mostly sunny, pretty dry and pretty calm, so clearer skies, warmer temperatures, and a good excuse to take a study break outside. So Chapman students, enjoy the sunshine this weekend when you can, and good luck with all of your assignments at the end of this school year. Now, dozens of earthquakes actually rattled over our region this weekend in a earthquake swarm. Since Saturday morning, more than 350 minor earthquakes have hit the city of Browley in Imperial County. Now, here's a map from USGS. Here are the dots where some of the epicenters are, and most of the earthquakes were below magnitude 4.0, but the swarm peaked with a magnitude 4.7 just after midnight Sunday. Light shaking was also reported in Coachella Valley to Calexico, San Diego, and Mexicali. Thankfully, there have been no major reports of damage. And that's all for your local forecast. I'll see you back here soon with your national weather. I'm Jenna McLaughlin.
Thanks, Jenna. It is almost graduation time, and for our final newscast of the semester, we want to thank our wonderful seniors at Chapman News.
Starting off, we have Asiatu Han. Asi is proud to have pulled 0 all-nighters, impressive, this semester, and plans to move to New York City and intern at CNBC after graduating. Her favorite CNews memory was covering the La Boutique shop.
Next up, we have Abigail Harsh. Abby is scuba certified and enjoys spending time with her roommates. Her favorite CNews memory is Monday nights in the suites, and she plans to attend grad school in Australia to study marine biology.
And of course, congrats to my co-anchor Natalie Lau, who says she chose Chapman University because it reminded her of Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls. She has taken a small break after graduation to travel and plans on working at the end of the year. Her favorite CNews memory was the St. Patty's Day newscast where she wore fun clover glasses.
Also, we have Isaac Persky, who will be working doing social media and marketing for Tarte Cosmetics in New York City post-grad. His favorite CNews memory was hanging out in the editing suites.
We wish the best of luck to this group of seniors. We'll have more senior send-offs later in this newscast. And coming up on Chapman News, off-campus housing is popular with college students, but the costly rental market is making that option more difficult. We'll explain just ahead.
Isabella Sevilla, it's the race for California's next governor. Coming up, I'll give you an inside look at the 2 leading candidates and tell you what voters are looking for.
Got a new house.
A place that I call home.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
We said we'd never give in to a meltdown.
Mariella!
Never leave the house looking, well, and never let them out of our sight. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Welcome back to Chapman News. The separation of church and state is a long-standing principle in the U.S., but if one government commission gets their way, that principle value could be no more. The Religious Liberty Commission, founded by President Trump last year, is a primarily Christian panel of advisors who believe the separation of church and state is outdated. Commission Chair Dan Patrick says the phrase has been used to, quote, suppress people of religion. Patrick also stated, I don't have any malice towards anyone that doesn't believe in any type of faith, but these organizations that are pushed by some ideology and pushed by someone's bank account who wants to remove God from our country, we need to push back. The Commission's final report proposes ideas such as increased options for religious expression in public schools and allowing religious-based exemptions in areas ranging from labor law to healthcare mandates.
A viral social media trend known as Scientology speedrunning is gaining millions of views online. Some videos posted to social media show masked individuals sprinting through Scientology buildings. The trend began in Hollywood earlier this year and has since spread internationally. Participants say they want to expose what happens inside the church's buildings, while others appear drawn to the viral attention the videos generate online. In a written statement provided to Chapman News, the church says the incidents have endangered staff, visitors, and church members, and quote, turning them into targets for viral stunts is not journalism, protest, or civic activity. It is trespass, harassment, and disruption of religious facilities. The church has removed door handles from various locations and says it is working closely with law enforcement to stop the incidents.
There are 3 weeks left in the California governor's primary race.
Our Isabella Savea joins us live in studio with the latest on the candidates and polling.
Thank you, Nico and Natalie. There is no shortage of people running for California governor. Here is a ballot, and you can see the front and back are names for the candidates of this year's governor. There are 8 major party candidates: Republicans Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton, along with Democrats Xavier Becerra, Katie Porter, Matt Mahan, Antonio Villahermosa, and Tony Thurmond. The top 2 vote getters move on to the November election regardless of party affiliation. Cal Matters and Survey USA say right now Tom Steyer and Steve Hilton are sitting on the top 2 spots. Survey USA polled 1,415 California voters about their political preferences and what they are looking for when choosing who to vote. The competition between Steyer and Hilton continues to bounce back and forth. 20% of voters reported to be leaning towards Hilton, and support for Steyer sitting at 18%. Hilton gained 2% just overnight, while Steyer lost 3%. Key endorsements for Steyer include the California Nurses Association, California Environmental Voters, and California Teachers Association. On the flip side, Hilton is endorsed by President Trump, Nisei Farmers League, and the Israeli American Civic Action Network. But for many voters, they are looking for endorsements, but rather the values and policy proposals of each candidate. Voter polls showed more than half of California voters want their next governor to stand up to President Trump. Tailing right behind, they also want them to work with Trump. Another topic that was also mentioned in the candidates' recent debates is immigration. Some candidates called for the abolishment of ICE, while others support the enforcement operations. When polled by voters, 53% say they want to protect immigrants, whereas 33% say those here illegally should be deported. One more poll asked voters what they think the biggest issue in the state is, with the majority saying it's the cost of living. Other issues that came up but didn't hit nearly as high included homelessness, housing, and immigration. And just a reminder, voting by mail is underway. You can mail your ballot or bring it to one of many Dropbox locations. A couple key dates include May 18th, the last day to register online, May 23rd, when early in-person voting begins, and lastly, June 2nd, the official primary election day, and last day to vote. And one more resource I want to share as well, you can visit this website, calmatters.org, to get more information on the candidates. And for one final time, I'm Isabella Savea reporting for Chapman News.
Thanks, Izzy. The costly rental market is impacting college students who are trying to find off-campus housing. Here in Orange County, Chapman News reporter Lindsay Johnson takes a look at how this affects the Chapman community.
Looking ahead to this fall, many Chapman students in Orange are finding it hard to find a house near campus, let alone one that's affordable. It's something of a perfect storm. Chapman has more students competing for off-campus housing, while rent prices continue to rise. Realtor Jacob Neal helps many Chapman students navigating the local rental market.
Every year, more people want to move off campus. With Chapman having housing out in Anaheim, they want to be closer to campus, so it's gotten a little bit more competitive. Pricing-wise, every year, it kind of has gone up with inflation.
I'm here on the corner of Everett and Glassell, 2 popular streets to live on right by the Chapman University campus. As we see here, many of these houses are gorgeous, but many of these students are finding it a very hard challenge this year to find housing and be able to fit them in their budgets.
Yeah, our budget was originally
$1,200 like per person, obviously negotiable depending on like the place that we found, and we sacrificed and are now paying $1,650 for a 3-bedroom, 1 bath.
The compromise many students are making in order to be close to campus and live with friends is not unique to just Chapman. Real estate professor Fidel Lawandi says it's an issue elsewhere too.
It's going to be the normal for every university, especially the medium-sized universities. Like, it's not unique to Chapman, it's unique to every university that is about the size of Chapman that is in a community like Orange.
While the hunt can be frustrating, many students still say it's worth it because off-campus housing will still save them money. On-campus housing for upperclassmen is expected to cost $15,600 next year. This is Lindsay Johnson reporting for Chapman News.
Huntington Beach is expected to pay nearly $1 million in legal fees after losing a lawsuit over restricting access to certain library books. In 2023, the city passed a resolution limiting children's access to books with sexual content. A judge found that the resolution violated the California Freedom to Read Act. Plaintiff Chloe Rios-Wyatt of Alianza Trans Latinx noted that the case was about sending a message.
I think the ruling sends an important message that public institutions have a responsibility to serve all members of the community, not just certain groups or viewpoints.
The city council is appealing the decision.
Meanwhile, a stagnant weather pattern is setting up across the U.S., meaning some areas could stay stuck with the same conditions for several days.
That's right. For a look at what's happening nationwide, we turn to Jenna McLaughlin. Jenna?
Thank you, Nico and Natalie. Yes, let's take a look at the national forecast. So out west, we're seeing a mix of conditions with San Francisco staying at cooler at 59 degrees, while Los Angeles is a little milder at 74. But as we move inland, things are heating up with Salt Lake City up to 92 and Albuquerque sitting at 93. And across the central U.S., it's looking warm and mostly sunny with Denver at 85, Kansas City at 83, Dallas at 84, and San Antonio near 88. Moving east, temperatures are definitely a little bit more comfortable. Nashville at 81, Atlanta at 73, Washington, D.C. at 71, Chicago warmer at 78, and on the East Coast, New York is seeing sunshine and 68 degrees. Miami is staying warm and humid at 88. So overall, it's a pretty warm map for much of the country. But the weather is actually expected to change soon. Millions of Americans are getting ready for a stretch of weather that may feel stuck in place this week, bringing the chance for hot temperatures and potential severe storms across parts of the country. So this is called an omega block, and an omega block weather pattern is starting to form over the U.S. This means different regions could stay under the same weather conditions for most of the week. Now, I pulled this graphic from Fox Weather. If you see here, it's called an omega block because the upper air pattern looks like the Greek letter omega. And as that ridge moves towards the center of the country, heat will shift from the west into the central U.S. That warm air will stop moving and sink over the region. This will lead to clear skies and temperatures climbing 15 to 25 degrees above average. And in the East Coast and parts of the Midwest, the right side of the pattern will bring severe storms to the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic, and those storms could bring damaging hail and strong winds. And basically, a lot of the country is going to feel like the weather is sort of on repeat this week and pretty stagnant. So either keep the sunscreen or the umbrella close depending on where you are in the U.S. So that's all for your national forecast and the last weather forecast of the semester. I'm Jenna McLaughlin.
Thanks, Jenna. And here's more of our senior spotlight celebrating the class of 2026 here at Chapman News.
Simone Jackson, a social media icon, hopes to find a job in the media and entertainment world post-grad. Her favorite CNews memory is editing Monday nights in the suites, and joining Greek life has given her the best memories in college.
Next up is today's producer, Lisa Pressler. Lisa was born on Valentine's Day and after graduation has an internship in LA. Her favorite C News memory is live reporting in the pouring rain at Kaiser Permanente during a workers' strike.
Isaiah May, who also has a twin sister graduating this year, is working in sports media in LA after graduation. His favorite Chapman memory is working with a pro boxer to make a documentary.
And finally, we have Kira Johnson. Kira plans to travel and continue her current job as a marketing coordinator and says her favorite C News memory is anchoring, weather reporting, and getting to do a live taste test of bagels. Thank you to our seniors and good luck on your next chapter in life. More senior send-offs to come later in this newscast.
And I'm senior Kira Johnson. Still ahead, your Panther Sports Roundup. Anaheim Ducks are alive and dangerous in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That and more coming up next.
I'm senior Isaiah May, and while food prices continue to rise, one iconic meal has stayed the same price for 4 decades. Coming up, find out why Costco won't mess with its most popular hot dog combo.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas. You know it's true. Mom, we love you always. Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Welcome back. Today is International Nurses Day, a time to recognize the hard work of frontline healthcare workers. Chapman News reporter Gabriela Reynoso has more.
Nurses work long hours performing the most unseen work that keeps our hospitals running. Lisa Chambers, president of Orange Coast Emergency Nursing Association and an educator at Brady's Children's Health in Orange, has been in nursing for more than 30 years. She says it is more than a career. It's a lifestyle that's rewarding but also requires emotional endurance.
For nurses, caring for patients is some of their DNA. But if nurses do not have a healthy place to place those concerns at the end of the day and they hold on to that, they can get the secondary trauma of being a nurse.
And while popular TV shows like Grey's Anatomy and The Pit often focus on life-saving moments in the operating room, Chambers says nurses do a lot more than people give them credit for.
Unfortunately, it's a lot more nurses than it is doctors. The nurses are going to put down the nasogastric tube on the patient. The nurses are going to start the IVs on the patient. Nurses are that voice, that advocate for the patient, helping to express what the patient would like.
Despite the long hours and underappreciation, many nurses do this career for a reason: to help people and make a difference in the healthcare system.
My mom had a brain tumor when I was in 3rd grade. I saw how the nurses cared for her, and I think I felt in that time really ill-equipped to help her. And I think in the end, that pushed me hard to be a nurse, to communicate well with my patients and not to be afraid of difficult situations.
Florence Nightingale paved the way for modern nursing more than a century ago, and today places like CHOC and other hospitals across the world continue that work through the everyday care they show for their patients. So make sure to go show them some appreciation. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Gabriela Reynoso.
Many Americans are struggling with the increased cost of groceries.
Eating out might not be in the budget, but it's good to know our one favorite has stayed the same price for years. Chapman News reporter Isaiah May joins us live in studio to explain.
Thanks, Nico and Natalie. It's true, this fan favorite has been holding steady at $1.50, but that's not true for other fast food options. Let's take a look. In a time where even fast food prices continue to rise, one meal here at Costco has stayed exactly the same for nearly 40 years. That would be the iconic Costco hot dog and drink combo, which has cost just $1.50 since 1985. Taking inflation into account, that would be over $4 today. For college students like Steven, deals like this can make all the difference.
Everything's going up right now, so honestly, being able to eat somewhere it's just cheap, it saves a lot of money. To me, I'm a college student, so it just helps out a lot.
Even though Costco's combo prices stayed the same, that hasn't exactly been the case everywhere else. Some well-known fast food chains raised the price of their most popular menu items in recent years. The Double-Double combo from In-N-Out was $9.20 in 2022 and now costs $11.20, whereas a Raising Cane's box combo was only $8.99 in 2022 and increased to $11.39 by 2024. For some, it's just become too much.
In-N-Out's one of our favorite places, has been for the last 3 or 4 years, and we've had to diversify a little bit and start going to other places just because we're not trying to pay those hefty prices.
But for Costco, keeping popular items at the same price is actually a part of their business plan. The $1.50 hot dog combo, as well as the company's $5 rotisserie chicken, are what's known as loss leaders. Those are items sold at little profit so that the customers stay happy. Other companies like Arizona Iced Tea have taken similar approaches, keeping its 99-cent price tag for decades.
That do like a change up, Costco has added one new item to its hot dog combo. For the same price, you can now get a bottle of water instead of just a fountain drink. For the last time reporting for Chapman News, I'm Isaiah May, and we'll take it back to you guys at the desk.
Good seeing that some traditions still hold value. Thanks, Isaiah. Meanwhile, a drug originally designed to treat diabetes is now reshaping the way many people think about weight loss, health, and even body image. As the popularity of Ozempic and similar medications continues to grow, so does the conversation around the impact on culture. Our Isaac Persky has the story.
This is how you get your doctor to write your prescription for Ozempic.
So this is GLP-1.
You can
it's
get
one of the most talked about.
What do you think about all the Ozempic?
Once known primarily as a medication for type 2 diabetes, Ozempic has become one of the most talked about drugs in America. According to a 2024 KFF poll, 1 in 8 Americans say they have taken a GLP-1 drug like Ozempic. The increased popularity of GLP-1 medications for weight loss has meant big business for the pharmaceutical industry. According to Morgan Stanley research, these medications led to $79 billion in sales in 2025. Doctors say the medications are highly effective for weight loss, and demand has skyrocketed.
So it's wonderful if you're overweight. Down the road, it's probably going to be really good for addiction problems as well. But yeah, of course, anyone can abuse anything. And yes, they make it very, very easy to get prescription drugs now.
In fact, I even tried for myself to see how easy it is to get these medications by calling a medical clinic here in Orange County. I was quickly put through to a representative who asked very few questions and seemed to have no reaction when I told them my weight and height, which put me well into what is considered a healthy BMI. Within minutes, I was offered an online consultation with a doctor to get a prescription. The Danish company that makes Ozempic is responding to the increased demand, investing $4 billion to expand a North Carolina factory and increase production. Reporting in Orange, I'm Isaac Persky with Chapman News.
The SoCal sports scene has been busy as always.
Indeed, indeed. Seasons are coming to an end. Our Kira Johnson joins us now to catch us up.
Thanks, Nico and Natalie. Welcome to your Panther Sports Roundup. Today we've got a packed rundown of Southern California sports. The Anaheim Ducks are rolling in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Lakers season came to a painful end, and the UCI men's volleyball team just wrapped up one of the most memorable runs in Anteater history. Let's get right into it. At the Honda Center, Anaheim took Game 4 from Vegas Golden Knights 4-3, evening their second round series at 2 games apiece. Rookie Beckett Senke opened with the scoring goal power play in the first. Cutter Gunther had 3 assists, and Lucas Dostal bounced back in the net with 8 saves. Game 5 is tonight at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, 6:30 Pacific on ESPN. The series is the best of 3, and the Ducks are playing the best hockey of the year. And from the ice to the hardwood, it is a very different story for another SoCal squad. The Los Angeles Lakers season is over, and it ended without a single win in the second round playoff series. Last night, the Oklahoma City Thunder completed a sweep, beating the Lakers 115-110 to advance to the Western Conference Finals. SGA was dominant, 35 points, 8 assists, and LeBron James had a chance to tie late but missed a go-ahead layup. SGA hit 2 free throws to seal it in. LeBron also finished with 24 points and 12 rebounds. At 41 years old, he might have just played his final game of his NBA career. Oklahoma City has not lost a single game in these playoffs. And for the Lakers, a long offseason ahead and plenty of questions about what comes next. And finally, we stay right here in Orange County for a season that Anteater fans will be talking about for years. And what a run the UC Irvine Anteaters had. UCI entered the NCAA tournament as an at-large team, not expected to go deep, but they went all the way to the national championship game, taking down top-seeded UCLA along the way in a 5-set thriller at Pauley Pavilion. But last night, it was Hawaii who wouldn't be denied. The Rainbow Warriors did take home the title 3-1. Kristen Trusitsky led the way with 16 kills, including one on the final championship point. It is a heartbreaker for UCI, but this program started the tournament as a bubble team, and they went all the way to the final. The Anteaters finish as runners-up, and Orange County should be so proud. And that's it for your local Panther Sports Roundup. Once again, Game 5, Ducks versus the Golden Knights, is tonight in Las Vegas. Watch it. I'm Kira Johnson. Thank you for being here for a final edition of the Panther Sports Roundup for the year. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Kira. And now it's time to talk about our next group of Chapman News Senior All-Stars.
Starting off with Lauren Besso, an avid survivortal player. She had no idea she would end up doing broadcast journalism in college and could not be happier and more grateful for this major. Her favorite C News memory is seeing everyone dressed up and eating food on St. Patrick's Day.
Next, we have our favorite web editor and glassblower, Ingrid Lee. Ingrid will continue to intern with ABC7 in Los Angeles as a digital news intern and then return home to the Bay Area to work in sports production after graduation. Her favorite C News memory is filming Chatra Ma and doing an on-camera taste test.
Finally, we have our co-social media coordinator, Isabella Savea. Izzy is going home to the Aloha State to be a news producer for Hawaii News Now. She loves her dog Manaya, and her favorite C News memory is Monday nights in the suites because everyone is working hard on their stories. We love our seniors and wish them luck in their future endeavors. Stay tuned for our salute to our executive producers. And still to come, do you need a furry little friend? Well, one organization is jumping at the chance to put abandoned bunnies into loving homes with education in mind. That story just ahead on Chapman News.
Good afternoon. I'm Natalie Ross. And I'm Samantha Thomas.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Steve.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of Chapman News.
Since 2010, Chapman News has been covering weather, entertainment, sports, politics, and news, broadcasting from Dodge College's Marionette Studios.
As the only live newscast in Orange County, our journalists aim to highlight local, statewide, and national communities.
We're here to provide the most accurate, engaging, and relevant news for our community.
Tune in to our nationally recognized and award-winning newscast, Chapman News.
Watch locally on Channel 6 or on our YouTube to stay updated with the latest.
Welcome back to Chapman News. An OC woman is bringing bunnies into the spotlight. Caroline Charlin founded Bunny Bunch 42 years ago to rescue bunnies from high-kill shelters and place them in loving homes. The organization also educates new owners to prepare them for adoption. Caroline says taking care of bunnies is completely different from dogs and cats.
And Caroline's organization is entirely run by volunteers.
Our very own Isaac Persky hopped over to Bunny Bunch and is live in Fountain Valley with some bunnies. Isaac, what's hoppin'?
Well, Natalie and Nico, I have been digging around Bunny Bunch here in Fountain Valley this afternoon, and there's so many different critters with so many different stories to share. And speaking of stories, Caroline, thank you so much for joining us here today. We're very excited. And Bunny Bunch is a very unique organization. There's not very many organizations here in Orange County that will help take care of bunnies and small critters. What makes Bunny Bunch so unique?
Well, I think it's because we rescue rabbits, guinea pigs, and chinchillas. That's one of the main reasons people are always like, oh, no cats or dogs, or once in a while, one or two, but mainly hundreds and hundreds of rabbits, guinea pigs, and chinchillas.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, should we check out some of the bunnies? Obviously, we've got one here, Dandelion. I'll pick one up as well. I actually was a rabbit owner. I have a rabbit named Mocha at home, I've had for about 9 years. So I've got some experience with bunnies, and I know that bunnies can be a lot to take care of, and oftentimes there's a lot of misconceptions about bunnies. Why is it so important for owners to be educated on rabbits?
Well, what happens a lot of times is people think they can live outside. They can't. They have a short lifespan because predators can get them. They die from the heat, all sorts of things. So they really need to know rabbits need to live indoors. They do great just living like a cat does, running loose, having a big litter box full of hay, and enjoying life, being safe for them that way.
Yeah, and tell us, how did Bunny Bunch come to be? How did this all start?
Well, it wasn't on purpose. What happened is I went to a pet shop one day to buy some cat food, and I saw a rabbit sitting in a tiny cage with no food, no water. Talked to the person there. He says, I'm too busy eating lunch right now. I'll do it later. And I said, I'm going to get the rabbit then. And he's like, that's fine. You can just take the rabbit home. And I did. And back then, there was terrible. Rabbits only lived about 5 years. This is over 40 years ago because no one knew what to do. So I said, I'm changing this. And here we are 40 years later. Rabbits now living indoors. They're living to 12, 14 years. I've had some even live to 16 years.
Wow. Well, thank you, Caroline. Thank you so much for educating us and joining us today.
Yes.
And live here in Fountain Valley at Bunny Bunch, I'm Isaac Persky, reporting for Chapman News. Back to you, Nico and Natalie.
It smells like the color brown. Thank you, Isaac. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and one OC dance studio is proving finding your rhythm can make all the difference. Chapman News reporter Lauren Besso has the story.
Soul on Fire Dance in Santa Ana is not only teaching the community new ways to move physically, but also mentally. The studio teaches all kinds of dance styles, helping dancers gain confidence to try new things while being in a safe space.
It's kind of made me kind of more in tune with my body and my sensations of how I feel about things, and not just staying in my mind all the time, and really feeling through things, to the point that I used to visualize dances and now I can actually feel them when I'm doing them, which is interesting.
It is not just a coincidence that the dancers feel their mental health improving since joining the studio. The owner and founder, Ginger, is a dance movement therapist and knows firsthand how much dancing can change someone's life.
I was diagnosed with depression when I was in my teens, and I think that dancing has actually saved my life. And being here and seeing everybody connect and grow and just like build their own confidence or build like lasting friendships really gives me life. I like to tell them all the time that I never cried as much after before I opened the studio because I cry happy tears at everything now.
Dancing has been proven to help so many parts of your brain and improve emotions, stress regulation, and decision making. And according to UCLA Health, can help people who struggle with anxiety and depression.
I have pretty crazy anxiety. My mind runs a million miles a minute. I was never able to just kind of make myself relax, and I found that through movement and through dance, my mind kind of started to just do that naturally because I was focusing on what I was doing as opposed to everything else around me.
While often seen by audiences as a beautiful or entertaining art form, it is important to remember that dance should be just as fun for the performers, and it is supposed to be joyful. You can find more info for Soul on Fire Dance on their website. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Lauren Besso.
We're approaching the end of the school year, a great time to thank your teachers. The National Education Association is one of several organizations that recently celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week. The NEA writes on their website that they are, quote, transforming our appreciation into action that protects students, strengthens public schools, and ensures educators are treated with the respect and dignity they deserve. We spoke to students to see why they think it's important to let teachers know they are appreciated.
Having a student go up to a professor and tell them how much they enjoy their class and how much they enjoy them, I think really goes a long way and, can make these professors find their passion again.
The U.S. Census says while teachers are among the nation's most educated workers, they earn on average far less than similarly educated careers such as physical therapists.
As we appreciate teachers and nurses worldwide today, we at Chapman News are especially appreciative of our executive producers, seniors Caroline Chang and Nathaniel Rudolph, who have contributed so much to our weekly newscast.
Caroline loves sipping matcha and coffee with Chapman News reporters on each of her coffee crawl expeditions. After graduating, she has an internship in LA, and we hope she doesn't get lost in Hollywood like she has on every form of New York City transportation. Thank you for everything, Carol.
Nathaniel Rudolph, a competitive swimmer for 13 years, says his favorite CNews memory is when he did a deep dive investigative piece on the group Unite for Freedom. After graduating, he plans to work at NEP as a broadcast engineer. Thanks for all your hard work, Nathaniel. On behalf of the entire Chapman News team, thanks to our EPs for their leadership, their patience, and dedication.
We're going to dearly miss all of our seniors here at Chapman News, and give a shout out to your favorite school teacher. Love you, Mom. Well, that does it for today and for the semester. Be sure to check out our website and social media pages for more. I'm Nico Schwegler.
And I'm Natalie Lau. Thank you for watching. Chapman News will be back in September. Congratulations again to the class of 2026! Woo!